Or are you waiting for them to bring even more friends to take their revenge on us? No, she says, I won't kill them. Typical, says the man on the right. Move over, I'll finish them myself. If you dare to even lay even a finger on them, I will murder you here and now. Diane says, you dare threaten me, wench? Don't you realize what position you are in? Stop it, Zenir, says the man on the left as he puts his hand on the other's shoulder. You know full well that we are no match for her in battle. Come on, let's make preparation for our departure. We shouldn't linger here for much longer, now that our location has been compromised. You're right, says Zenir as she calms down. We should get ready to leave here as soon as possible. He then points menacingly towards Diane and says, Lady Meredith will hear of this, I assure you. I'm counting on it, Diane says, smiling defiantly. Zenir frowns and then he goes to follow his ally back to their main camp. Once the two of them are no longer visible, Diane turns back towards the five of us. She notices that I'm still conscious. You're still awake, she says as she approaches me. Strange, that high of a voltage should have normally made you all lose your consciousness. So why are you the only one that were able to maintain his consciousness? When she gets closer to me, she looks shocked for a brief moment. Then she smiles. I see, she says. You're a Lassetti. Kate must have really trusted you. She's willing to travel with you despite this fact. Wait, I start to tell her. Why are you? Take good care of her, will you? Diane says, smiling as she puts a finger on my forehead. I'm counting on you to keep her safe from now on. She then sends a surge of electricity through my entire body, and the last thing I see is a sad smile as I slowly lose my consciousness. Everything goes dark. I don't think it's a good idea for everyone to be knocked out in the middle of the forest. That kind of sounds like death. Would you like to realize the extent of the big brain that I possess? As it turns out, a couple episodes back, I think last episode or something, there was that hour-long recording I was talking about that got corrupted, or I forgot to start the recording. As it turns out, the recording was going on, and I just had to stop the recording in my phone, but I didn't see it through the flurry of other notifications. And then I transferred it onto my PC, rendering, because it's an MP4 file, rendering the recording useless. So I was recording, I'm just a retard who didn't check properly and freaked out over the fact that I didn't record and just transferred shit to my PC and fucked up everything. Sometimes I wonder, like, what the hell did my mother eat to give birth to me? Fucking hell. Anyway, moving on. Barry, I hear Darren's voice calling out to me. Hey Barry, can you hear me? I wake up with a slight headache and my vision blurry. As I start to see clearer, I notice that I'm sitting in the middle of a room with stone walls and no windows, with the only visible exit being a metal bar door which seems to be locked shut. Yeah, we got kidnapped. The stone used to build the walls look very old, are full of cracks, there's moss growing all over them. If I were to guess, I'd say we are held in a prison cell of some old ruins. Suddenly remember Kate's friend and how she left us all unconscious in the middle of the forest. Is she the one that brought us here? I look around me to see if everyone's here. Darren's standing right beside me, while Kate and Rose are sitting on the floor on the opposite side of the room, with their backs leaned against the wall. Adric is standing near the metal bar door and knocking lightly on the wall around it, likely in an attempt to test its durability. What happened? I asked Darren. Did the Lassetti bring us here? No, it wasn't the Lassetti. Darren says it was the animals from the forest. They seem really upset that we trespassed on their sacred magical fairyland. Sacred magical fairyland. I'll gladly bring you up to speed with everything that happened while you were passed out, but please, can you please shut off that infernal device of yours? It's been beeping ever since I woke up. It's really starting to get on my nerves. Take out my stat device and see that received 4 more points while I was unconscious. Must have picked up some energy from the air after yesterday's fight. This thing is OP. It can actually, I think the stat points are actually just a buffer. I think once we actually max out all the stats, we'll unlock another level of this device, I'm guessing. And that will allow us to further increase our strength. We haven't eaten or drunk anything so far, have we? Invest points. What the hell was that? Something popped up on the screen. I didn't see it. So let's see. What should we go for? We have 4 points. So I wanna first off I wanna max out these just in case. I don't wanna lag out. I don't like leaving these open. 1 more point. I think I'm gonna go with the ancient language because we are already in this sort of situation. So I'm gonna go with ancient language. I feel like I should take toughness because that has not seen any use so far. Strength and toughness, I feel like that's what's going to be important further going forward, but whatever, we're gonna go with this. And I wanna get ancient language. I wanna get premonition, and then I'm gonna start working on strength and toughness. So let's confirm changes. Wait, didn't we already see this? Yeah, must have picked up. Did you know the Magium is also available in the iOS App Store? If you like the game, please don't... Okay, that's what it said. Okay, whatever. Once I'm done with the stat boost, I put it back in my pocket and device stops beeping. Finally, Darren says, at least we can get some peace and quiet while we try to think of a way out of here. Wait, I tell him. You said that some animals were here, but I don't see anyone guarding our cell. Did they come by here while I was still unconscious? Yeah, says Darren. A tiger and a bear came by earlier, started growling at us. At first I thought the jailers sent their pets here to scare us, but then Kate and Rose started talking to them by making weird animal noises. Oh, come on, I missed out on that. It turns out that all of the animals and monsters on the continent can speak, but they use ancient languages. Monsters can speak in the common tongue because they don't know any better, and the animals aren't allowed to speak it because their spirit box leader has forbidden its use after the humans started hunting them for food. It also turns out that having a basic understanding of ancient languages is not so uncommon if you're born on this continent. Never mind all that, I tell Darren, did they say what they want from us? Yeah, they said that we should wait here until their great golden fox arrives, and they apparently kept making jokes about how she will teach us all a lesson. So why aren't they guarding us then? What's to stop us from just breaking through the walls and escaping? These, Darren says as he points at his neck. For the first time I noticed that they were all wearing green collars around our necks with strange markings written on them. I turned to Kate. Where are these? I start to ask her, but she cuts me off. Yes, she answers me. They're the same type of collars that the ancient use on the artificial mages of the Beacon of Hope in order to keep the powers under control. The good news is that I know how to turn them off. The bad news is that we need to find the device powering all of these collars before I can use it to deactivate them. These ruins were also built by the Lechethi of old, so if they are anything like the beacon, then they should be a control room not far from here. But if no one of you can cast spells, then why is Hadric still in his dwarf form? Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Hadric says, I guess the collar don't actually dispel any spell that you cast on yourself before wearing them. They just prevent you from casting any more spells. But that's fine. Isn't Hadric insanely physically strong even when he is not using magic? So can he just break us out that way? Maybe, I don't know. I guess the collars don't actually dispel any spells that you cast on yourself before wearing them. They just prevent you from casting any more magic. The first thing I tried when I woke up was to turn into a giant, but this damn collar won't let me cast any sort of shape-shifting magic. You say that you can't cast any magic, I tell him, but you still have your super strength, right? Your superhuman strength, right? Yeah, that's what I said. I was wondering, so if he can't, cast any spells and deactivate spells, then where do the spells take mana from? Because a spell to continue would require, if you follow D&D logic, would require fucking concentration, which he's not doing, and also a mana, but I'm guessing that this world actually uses world level spells that sort of like a system, right? Instead of actually consuming mana, the world allows for spells to exist. So that's what I'm guessing is what it means here. Interesting. The world is also very steampunkish, except for the fact that instead of 1960s, it's more like fucking medieval times and future at the same time, and magic, so it's weird. Hadric says, grinning, but even with my power, I still can't smash the collar around my neck. These blasted contraceptions seem to be near indestructible. Now, I was checking to see if the walls are as durable as the collars, but it looks like they're just made up of regular stone. I should be able to break through them without any problem. But I think we should try to talk things through with the leader first. Perfect, let's not waste any more time. I think we should not break through here because I feel like only Hadric would be able to protect himself. Everyone else would be fucked. So let's go with that. Sounds like a good plan, says Darren, in sarcastic tone. I mean, for all we know, this may well just be cultural misunderstanding. They only want to offer us a cup of tea. Damn it, Darren. You know very well that this isn't what I was. All right, everyone. Then shouts loudly to cover up the sound of my voice. It's time for a vote. Mary said we should all stay here and eat cupcakes with the queen of the magical fairyland. I say we should make a run for it now while there's no one guarding our cell. Whoever also thinks that escaping now would be our best course of action, please raise your hand. All four of them raise their hands simultaneously. Darren and Hadric are both grinning at me while Kate is looking away and Rose is smiling apologetically. Sorry, Barry, she says. Well, Darren continues, since we are running a democracy here, I'm afraid that we You were 2 votes short of a victory, Barry. It's too bad. The results were pretty close. Hardrick, whenever you're ready. Dwarf says, preparing to punch a hole in the wall. Stops, I say. And Hardrick interrupts his swing look at me. Oh, for crying out loud, what is it this time? What if this is all a trap, I say? Don't you find it strange that there isn't even a single guard watching our cell? What if they are baiting for us to escape so that they can capture us again on more severe charges? Right now, the only thing we're guilty of is temporarily trespassing on the territory. Given that we are outsiders, do not know these lands very well, we should have extenuating circumstances. As we try to escape now, we'll most likely have to fight some of the animals, and we might even be forced to kill some of them. Do we really want to make enemies of an entire race just because of a small misunderstanding? Hardrick says thoughtfully while stroking his beard. The lad does have a point. Can't be serious, Darren tells him. Rose, I continue. Didn't you tell us that the spirit of Fox of there is like some kind of god? Isn't she like crazy strong? Oh yes, Darren says. She's thousands of years old and likely dwarves the power of most mages from this tournament. So would you choose to make her into an enemy right off the bat, knowing that there might be a small chance to talk things through with her if we just have a little patience? Well, when you put it like that, I suppose I wouldn't, Rose says, smiling. We will let democracy or whatever. Well, the democracy went down in shit in that situation. This is why I say democracy is not as good as selective democracy, which is a concept of like democracy run through by intellectuals. And I think there was a thing like this in I believe a while back. In southern India, there was a village or something, I don't remember, which had like the concept of selective democracy. That's the first one that I've heard of, at least. I'm not sure where the original concept is from. Maybe it's from there. So the idea is that not everyone has the right to vote. Only the people that are deemed like intellectuals by whatever standard they had back in the day. I don't know if they took exams or something, but only those people were allowed to vote, because people believe that people who are qualified and intellectuals and care about the fucking, the country, or in this case the village, would be more proficient and better at making decisions than if you give the power to everyone. Because like in India right now, there's like this weird ass fucking new sort of democracy showing up, where people like parties would offer like perks, like money and like fucking phones and tablets and stupid shit like that. So they offer shit in return for your vote, essentially. I mean, this must have been happening for years now at this point. I don't know why. I guess they didn't really do it this openly, but now they're doing this openly. So that's why I say selective democracy is a little bit more preferred, though there probably is 10 more problems even with that rather than a true democracy. Oh, come on, Darren says, exasperated. You were all on my side a few moments ago. What's the matter, Darren? I ask him with a smirk. Don't you like democracy anymore? Darren frowns at me, but eventually gives up and decided to drop his stance on the subject. Fine, he says. I see that you've all made up your mind already, so there's no use in dragging this matter on any further. I'll have to talk with this great golden fox and see where we go from there. I don't mind. It doesn't take long for the animal's leader to make her appearance. Her shape is that of a normal fox, but her fur is so bright it looks like it's made of actual gold. The magical aura that she's emanating rather intimidating. It also gives off an otherworldly vibe. A similar vibe, in fact, that of a banshee. Could she originate from the magical plane as well? The fox is being accompanied by a leopard and a bull, one on her left side and one on the right side. By the way, what does the leopard eat? It can't really eat grass and shit. I don't know how that works. And one on her right. There's like 2 bodyguards walking alongside with some rich noble kid. When they all stop in front of our cell, the fox starts speaking to us in common tongue. Greeting, outsiders, she says. I'm Eleia, the golden fox, and there are my 2 trusted lieutenants, Leo the leopard and Taurus the bull. Leo and Taurus, Darren says in a low voice. Name creativity at its best. Shouldn't Leo be a lion's name though? Hardrick says, asks him. I mean, it is a valid question. Rose tells them, looking frantically at the 3 animals to see if any of them heard their banter. The bull seems to have both heard and understood Darren's jest, as he is now looking straight at him with a furious look in his eyes. Leopard either didn't hear his remark or didn't seem it worthy of a reaction on his part. Fox simply ignores them altogether and continues her speech, as if nothing happened. My lord subject informed me that you were caught trespassing on our sacred grounds. What do you have to say in your defense? We didn't know that we were on sacred grounds.